Good morning, gang. Happy Monday morning. Okay, well, interesting stuff over the weekend, but I want to bring this one up in thought process for you. I don't think anybody's going to argue with me when I say the 46 administration has been an utter catastrophe. Okay, when his approval rating is 38% and more than half the Democrats don't even want to see him run again. That pretty much tells you that it's a complete fustercluck. Okay. We've talked many times, that everything Joe touches turns to shit, that nothing he's done has worked, nothing he's promised he's done, and just silliness. Okay. So, when your economy's in shambles, when your people are at each other's throats, what's the best way to bring everybody together and build your economy back? War. Okay. Now, I gotta bet that the Americans are pretty sick of war, even with the debacle, figured Joe did it, of getting out of Afghanistan. The majority of the public was pretty much, let's get the hell out of there already. It's not working. Not that it was a big surprise. I mean, the Soviets went into Afghanistan 40 years ago, and it was a mess for them too, and they eventually left. I'm sorry, Afghanistan is not worth anything for fighting. And I know some of you guys will say, oh, there's, the raw materials or whatever. Okay, fine, so be it. All right. But, this nation building crap has got to stop. But so then we tie this, okay, and again, you know me, I like to put puzzle pieces together. And Bill Gates and the depopulation and all this sort of comments that keep coming out. Oh, we've got to reduce the population of the world. It's unsustainable. We can go into Georgia Guidestones, whatever you want to talk about. Okay. So my question is this. Is the U.S. and by default NATO as well trying to entice other countries into war? Okay. Because war is good for depopulation. All right. And if I give you these as numbers, take a look at World War II. There were 75 million people that died during World War II. Okay. Now, most of you guys probably know the Soviet Union lost somewhere between 24 and 28 million people. Okay. But I'm betting you didn't know that China lost 20 million. Okay. You probably know Germany lost around, 7.5 million people or whatever it is. The United States lost about 500,000. But I mean, then you get into some weird ones too. Brazil lost 2,000 people in World War II. Okay. Just strange numbers. I mean, South Africa, 12,000 people. Go figure. But there were 75 million people that died in World War II. At the time, with the population of the world being at about 2.25 billion people, that was better than 3% of the world's population was killed during World War II. If you took the world population now and killed off 3.3% of the population, you would kill approximately 260 million people. Bill Gates might be interested in that. Get rid of 260 million people? That's a good start for the depopulation agenda. So why do I say this? That, is the West trying to repair their political debacles? Again, like I said, economy, whatever it was, war is good. Okay. Don't need to have a reason, as George W. Bush, we can lie our way into war. But how would they do this? Again, the U.S., Germany, any of NATO countries, okay, are not going to invade China, are not going to invade Russia. Why Russia? I have no idea, okay? Russia's built up their military, okay? We can do that too. We need to spend more money on ant research for how they affect corn in Alaska. I mean, who knows? Any of the goofy stuff that we waste money on. But this is where you start to worry. Over the weekend, early this morning actually, came out that the U.S. has reestablished a nuclear unit in Germany with nuclear missiles pointed at Moscow that could hit Moscow in 21 minutes. Okay, Dark Eagle. Last time Dark Eagle was functional was in 1991, before the Soviet Union fell. Okay. Why all of a sudden? Somebody please tell me, what has Russia done to piss off the United States that we need to put nuclear missiles pointed at Moscow? Nothing. This is bluster, okay? This is threats, okay? Now, let's go to the other side. Belarus, okay? Lukashenko, ally of Russia. We know what's going on there between migrants coming up from Afghanistan through Belarus. Belarus wants to shove them off into Poland. NATO member. Okay. Lukashenko has asked Putin to put nuclear-capable missiles on the Poland-Ukraine border. Now, what do you need them for on the border? Because you're not going to shoot them 50 yards, okay? So what's the point of putting them on the border? I mean, not that I'm agreeing with any of this, okay? But having them in Germany where they get on Moscow in 21 minutes, that's great. But you're putting them on the border of Poland and Ukraine. You're not shooting nuclear missiles at individuals. So, again, threat. From the east coming to the west, from the west coming to the east. What's the point? This is where it starts to get scary, guys, because the media for weeks has been saying that, oh, we're ready to go to war against Russia. Russia's going to attack Ukraine. Russia came out and said, we're not attacking Ukraine. Now, whether or not you believe them, I'm getting it, okay? But I'm just saying. Sure, nobody sits there and says, oh, well, I'm going to take it back. We've done that. That was Biden's idea. We'll give the enemy a schedule and say, this is when we're leaving. Okay. Russia's not coming up and saying, oh, gee, you know what? On November 23rd at 8 a.m., we're going to attack Ukraine. Okay. You don't do that. But if something like this goes down, and the media is loving pushing this because war is good for ratings. Was it Don Henley, I think, wrote the song, maybe, I'm not sure, somebody was ex-Eagles, Dirty Laundry, okay? The bubble-headed bleach blonde goes on at 5, she can tell you about the plane crash with a gleam in her eye. War is good for ratings, okay? Blood is good for ratings. CNN certainly needs ratings, considering the latest story that they couldn't get a single show with over 1 million viewers on it last week. Okay, and I guess the new CEO, or whatever the hell his title is going to clean house of a bunch of their talent. So the media is all for pushing this narrative. And you know how powerful the media is in the United States, okay? There's enough sheep that listen to the media that believe whatever Brian Stelter or Rachel Maddow or Anderson Cooper or any other one of the cast of dingbats says. But, foreign policy by the Biden administration is dictated by the media too. The media says, oh my God, this is going on. And Joe and his whole staff are like, hey, that's a good idea. Let's go threaten Russia. Okay. This is not good, but this is what is going on right now. And when we're pointing nuclear missiles at Moscow, and they want to point nuclear missiles back at us, and hypersonic missiles and all this sort of stuff, guys, there's your depopulation. We can talk about whatever other things, on depopulation. War is what does it quick. Okay, like I said, 260 million people would be the equivalent percentage if it happened now was what happened in World War II. That's a hell of a lot faster than anything else. That's what you need to pay attention to. Have a good Monday. Pinball out.